The words hung in the air like a slap, sharp and stinging, as my sister, Elena, extended the wicker bread basket toward my son, Lucas, her manicured nails glinting under the chandelier's warm glow. "We didn't order for your son," she said, her voice laced with that faux politeness she reserved for waitstaff and distant relatives. Lucas, only 8, blinked up at her, his small fingers hovering mid-reach for the garlic knots that smelled of butter and herbs, filling the opulent dining room of La Belle Vie. Her own children, twins spoiled and oblivious, were already halfway through their $100 lobster bisque appetizers, slurping noisily while Elena's husband, Mark, chuckled at some private joke on his phone. I froze, fork suspended over my untouched salad, the metallic tang of rage flooding my mouth. Humiliation burned in my chest, hot and uncoiling, as the other diners at nearby tables pretended not to notice, their conversations a low hum masking the thunder in my ears. Lucas's face crumpled, his cheeks flushing red, and he withdrew his hand, clutching the edge of the tablecloth instead. "Mom," he whispered, his voice small, eyes darting to me for rescue. But I couldn't speak. Not yet. The betrayal sliced deeper than the words. Elena, my blood, my older sister by 3 years, who I'd defended through her messy divorce, her failed businesses, her endless pleas for just a little help. And now this. In front of everyone. The restaurant's ambience mocked us. Crystal glasses clinking like laughter, the soft jazz piano tinkling in the background, the scent of seared steaks wafting from the kitchen. Elena smiled, that thin, practiced smile, as if she'd just offered a kindness. "Here, sweetie, have some bread. It's complimentary." Mark didn't even look up, his thumb scrolling through stocks or sports scores, while the twins, Ava and Ethan, giggled over their iPads, oblivious to the cruelty unfolding. I wanted to scream, to flip the table, to grab her by the pearl necklace she'd bought with my loaned money and demand why. Why single out my boy? Why now, after I'd driven 3 hours to this family reunion, she insisted on paying for gas and a babysitter I couldn't afford? But I swallowed it down, the lump in my throat like broken glass. "It's fine, Lucas," I murmured, forcing a smile that felt like cracking porcelain. "We'll get something later." He nodded, but his eyes, those wide, trusting blue eyes inherited from his father, who I'd lost to cancer 2 years ago, held a shadow now, a flicker of understanding that the world wasn't fair, that even family could wound you. Elena waved over the waiter, ordering another round of cocktails for herself and Mark, her laughter ringing false as she changed the subject to her latest vacation plans. Italy this time. Funded, no doubt, by the investment she'd begged from me last month. As the meal dragged on, I picked at my food, the flavors ash on my tongue. Inner turmoil churned. Denial first. Maybe she didn't mean it that way, maybe it was a joke. But no, the calculation in her eyes said otherwise. Resentment built, layer by layer, like sediment in a storm. How many times had I bailed her out? The $5,000 for her boutique that folded in 6 months. The nights I'd watched her kids while she partied through her grief. And Lucas. He'd adored her, calling her Auntie Lena, with drawings and hugs. Heartbreak twisted in me, not just for him, but for the sister I'd idolized as a child, the one who'd braided my hair and promised we'd always have each other's backs. By dessert, creme brulee for them, nothing for us, the obsession took root. In the quiet drive home, Lucas asleep in the back seat, his face illuminated by passing streetlights, I replayed the scene. Fantasies bloomed, smashing her perfect life, exposing her secrets. But doubt crept in. What if I was overreacting? She was family, blood. Yet the anger festered, a slow poison. That night, alone in my cramped apartment, the walls closing in with unpaid bills stacked on the kitchen table, I stared at the ceiling, guilt gnawing. Was I a bad mother for letting it happen? For not fighting back right there? Days blurred into weeks. Elena texted casually. "Great seeing you. Let's do it again soon." No apology. No acknowledgement. I responded with emojis, hiding the storm. At work, sorting mail in the post office's fluorescent-lit backroom, the repetitive thump of stamps echoed my heartbeat. Steady but building. Colleagues noticed my distraction, The way I'd zone out mid-conversation, but I brushed it off. Home was worse. Lucas asked why Auntie Lena was mean. His questions like knives. I hugged him tight, the scent of his shampoo. Cheap strawberry, grounding me. Sometimes people make mistakes. I lied, but inside resolve hardened. Cold and unyielding. I began planning subtly at first. Researching her life through social media. The glossy posts of yacht parties and designer bags. Mark's business dealings. Real estate, shady flips that skirted taxes. Elena's hidden affair from years ago, whispered to me in confidence during one of her breakdowns. Moral conflict raged. Was revenge worth it? Would it make me like her? But the humiliation replayed, a loop in my mind, fueling the fire. I started small, anonymous tips to her HOA about her unregistered pool house. Petty, yes, but satisfying when she complained in a family group chat about nosy neighbors. Suspense built in the quiet moments. A late-night call from her, voice slurred from wine. "Sis, you okay? You seem distant." Played along, laughter forced. "Just busy." But my thoughts raced. What if she suspects? What if I go too far? Fear mingled with excitement, a thrill I'd never known. Lucas noticed my late nights at the computer. His brow furrowing. "Mom, are you mad at Auntie?" I denied it, but guilt spiked, dragging him into this shadow world. One evening, as rain pattered against the window like impatient fingers, I uncovered something bigger. Digging through old emails she'd forwarded me for advice, I found discrepancies in her business accounts. Embezzlement. Or just sloppy. Obsession deepened. I hired a cheap PI with savings meant for Lucas's school trip, justifying it as closure. The report came back. Elena had been siphoning funds from Mark's company, small amounts over years to fund her lifestyle. And the kicker? She'd used my name on some loans, forging signatures from our joint account days. Fury ignited anew, but now with purpose. I paced the living room, the carpet threadbare under my feet, heart pounding. Fantasies turned strategic. Expose her to Mark? To the IRS? Doubt whispered. Family doesn't destroy family. But resentment shouted louder. She destroyed us first. That bread basket wasn't just food. It was a symbol of her disdain, her elevation above us. Poor widowed sister and her bastard son, not worthy of the feast. As part one closed, tension simmered. I met Elena for coffee. Her choice of venue, a upscale cafe where lattes cost more than my lunch. She prattled about her kid's private school, while I nodded, palms sweating around my cup. "Lucas is doing great," I said, voice steady. But inside, the plan coalesced. Revenge not swift but surgical. I'd wait for the perfect moment, letting her complacency be her undoing. The air thickened with unspoken rage, her laugh grating like nails on chalkboard. As we parted, her hug felt like chains. Little did she know, the pursuit had begun. Months passed in a haze of calculated restraint. I returned to normalcy on the surface. Work, school runs, forced smiles at family gatherings. But beneath, the obsession grew roots, twisting through my days like ivy on a crumbling wall. Lucas thrived, or so I told myself. His drawings now featuring superheroes avenging the weak. "Like you, Mom," he'd say, and guilt would pierce me. Am I teaching him vengeance? Moral conflict became my constant companion, waking me at 3 a.m. with sweat-soaked sheets, questioning if this path would heal or scar us both. Elena's life, meanwhile, glittered unchecked. Social media updates. Spa days, galas, her twins in matching outfits at elite camps. Mark's promotion announcement, a lavish party I couldn't make due to work. Each post was a prod, resentment flaring like embers poked. I gathered evidence meticulously, the PI's folder thickening with bank statements, emails, even photos of her with a mysterious man at a hotel. Not Mark. Hidden motives emerged. Elena's fear of poverty, stemming from our childhood in a rundown trailer park, where Dad drank away the rent and Mom worked double shifts. She'd vowed to escape, no matter the cost. Layered now, she wasn't just cruel. She was desperate, morally gray in her survival. But understanding didn't forgive. Fueled. Slow-burn suspense mounted through subtle acts. I accidentally forwarded an old email chain to Mark, blaming a glitch, planting seeds of doubt about her spending. He called me once, voice tight. "Hey Sarah, about that loan, Elena said it was cleared?" I feigned confusion, heart racing. "I thought so too." Hang up, and the thrill surged. Fear of exposure, but resolve stealing. Elena noticed nothing at first, her texts breezy. But then cracks. A frantic call about an audit notice. "Sis, you won't believe this. Some mix-up with taxes." I sympathized, voice honeyed, while inside, cold calculation ticked like a clock. The turning point came at Thanksgiving, hosted at her sprawling McMansion, the air thick with turkey and tension. Sensory details assaulted. The crackle of the fireplace, the clink of silverware on china, the twins' shrieks echoing off vaulted ceilings. Lucas played quietly in the corner, wary now of his cousin's taunts. Elena, in a silk blouse, poured wine liberally, her eyes glassy. Mark was distant, scrolling his phone again. Dialogue revealed fractures. "Honey, about that account," he started, but she cut him off with a laugh. "Not now, darling. Family time." I watched, pulse quickening, as suppressed rage bubbled in me. Later in the kitchen, alone with her amid the steam of gravy and the hum of the dishwasher, she confided, manipulative as ever. "Sarah, I need a favor. Just $2,000 to tide over." Mark's being stingy. Her hand on my arm felt like a vice. Heartbreak resurfaced. This was my sister, once my protector. But humiliation echoed. That bread basket, Lucas's hurt eyes. "Why me?" asked softly, testing. I shrugged. "Your family. You get it." That night doubt peaked. Driving home through sleet-slick roads, wipers thumping rhythmically, I nearly aborted. "Call it off, forgive." But Lucas's voice from the back. "Auntie didn't share again." Resolve crystallized. Poetic justice demanded balance. The plan unfolded in phases, suspense ratcheting. First, anonymous emails to Mark with proof of the affair, photos time-stamped. He confronted her. I knew from her hysterical call. "Sarah, he's accusing me of cheating." "It's lies." I consoled, guilt twisting like a knife, but obsession pushed on. Next, the financials, tips to the IRS, forged trails leading back to her. Not me, of course. Untraceable through the PI's networks. Tension crested at a family dinner she insisted on. To clear the air. The restaurant, ironically La Belle Vie again. Atmosphere charged. Dim lights casting shadows, the murmur of patrons like a jury. Elena arrived frazzled, makeup smudged, Mark absent. Business trip. The twins whined for apps. She ordered lavishly, but her hands trembled. Lucas sat beside me, bread basket untouched. Dialogue heightened. "Everything okay, sis?" I asked innocently. She snapped. "Fine. Just stress." Suppressed rage leaked, hers, mine. As mains arrived, steaks for them, salad for us, the payoff loomed. I'd arranged it. The PI's final act, a leak to her social circle about the embezzlement. Phones buzzed mid-meal, her friends' texts flooding in. Elena's face paled, fork clattering. "What the hell?" she whispered, scrolling. Accusations, outrage. The twins sensed it, quieting. Lucas looked at me, confused. Climax erupted. Mark burst in, unannounced, face thunderous. "Elena, it's over. The lawyers have everything." She gasped, turning to me, betrayal dawning. You did this." Her voice broke, raw emotion mirroring mine from months ago. I met her eyes, cold resolve unbroken. "We didn't order for your kids," I said softly, handing her the bread basket. Poetic justice. But the twist, as chaos unfolded, shouts, tears, diners staring, guilt crashed. Lucas tugged my sleeve. "Mom, why is Auntie crying?" Unexpected consequences. Her ruin was mine too. Family shattered. In the aftermath, alone with him, I realized revenge's hollowness. Heartbreak anew. Not for her but for us. Obsession faded, leaving scars. Was it worth it? The question haunted, a final suspense in the quiet.